It's so hot. So I'm gonna make this quick, but hello, welcome to a vlog. I had other plans for this video, but turns out, fun fact, I have a concert tonight. And so it's gonna eat up like 5 hours of my night. So I won't have as much time to do everything that I plan to do today, which is fine. I'm excited. But with that said, I did pop over to the Barnes & Noble, you can't fucking tell, to get my mom her Mother's Day gifts, because that's apparently tomorrow. Mom, if you're watching this, no, I did not forget. But I did get her the next 2 books in the Holly Jackson Good Girl's Guide to Murder, because we're buddy reading the first one right now in preparation for the show coming out. So I picked them up. She's probably going to want to read them. And then I also picked up slash for her slash for my stepdad slash for Austin if he wants to borrow it, but the first book in the Thursday Murder Club series by Richard Osman, because everybody seems to love this and I think she will too. I'll probably deliver those to her tomorrow, but I'm going to go to Dutch Bros. Then I'm going to go home because I need to film and I'm going to blast the AC. So I'll see you guys at home because it's too freaking hot, man. It's too hot here. It's 85 degrees. That's too hot. You just gotta steal the show, huh? Hey guys. This is what you want. Hello guys. Welcome. Hi, I'm home. It might be loud. The AC is full blast, as cold as it can be. It's toasty today. It's a toasty one. But alas, here we are. I'll try to denoise the clip the best that I can out here. But hi, I'm home. I've got my starry night, and if I don't drink water, you will all need to come for me and yell at me because I'm gonna be out in this heat for many hours. And it's been a few years, but the last very hot foam wonderland that I went to, I did get heat stroke. It wasn't bad, it wasn't severe, but I did throw up in their bathrooms. So we're gonna avoid that. We're gonna drink a lot of water today. That's kind of the goal. But I need to talk to you guys. Guys, I I don't know how to talk about this. I don't know how to put this into words. I don't know how to talk about this. I don't know how I feel. I don't know how to express with words. I just need to feel. Sorry, if you haven't read this, that was weird for you, I'm sure. But anywho, this is Vida Nostra. This is written by co-authors and married partners Marina and Sergei Dyachenko. They are Ukrainian. This is translated from Russian. The translator is Julia Meltov-Hersey. She's chunky. I just need to give the biggest thanks. Oh my god, thank you so fucking much, so dearly, so gentle, sweetly. Thank yous of all kinds. Ashley, thank you for giving me this. Ashley gave me a really fantastic experience with this book, and I am excited to reread it again. I don't know when, I don't know how, but it will happen again at some point. This was such a time. So I truly don't know how I'm going to talk about this. Like, I want to explain it for people so they want to pick it up and read it, but honestly I went into this knowing so very little, except for like it's dark academia. That's kind of all that I knew, and it doesn't even fit the same standard. Like, if you think this is dark academia and you're like, oh, it's like The Secret History, or it's like If We Were Villains, no no, it's not actually. And I think that's the part that makes it even more difficult to explain. Like, it's got the aesthetics. It is such a beautiful portrayal of the obsession in higher education, which I loved and adored. In this, we are following Sasha Alexandra Samakina, something like that. I don't know this language, I'm so sorry. But in this, we are following Sasha. And Sasha is a girl. She is graduating high school, she's figuring out her future, and her mom go on this like little summer beach vacation, and things start to get weird right off the bat. She's noticed this man and he's following her, and she's like, Mom, do you notice like something weird going on? And Mom's just like oblivious. No, everyone's just here having a good time on vacation. Don't even worry about it. I don't know, man. Seems a little weird. And then Sasha finds herself repeating the same day over and over again while she's avoiding this man. That's weird. That's concerning. She's repeating, I think it's like the 16th of whatever month they're in, just over and over and over and over And so eventually she caves and she goes and talks to this guy who's just been watching everything. And he's like, yeah, just every day, first thing in the morning, wake up early, go for a swim butt naked in the ocean, okay? And she's like, the fuck? I'm sorry, excuse me, what? And he's like, yeah, just do that for a few days. It's gonna teach you like discipline or whatever. And she's like, okay, so this creep wants to just watch me. All right, I guess, like, no harm done to me, I suppose, whatever. And so she starts doing it. She starts getting these gold coins. Does she throw them up often? Yeah, that too. But she's collecting gold coins. And it's weird. And then after the vacation ends, she has to run all the time and she gets these coins. And eventually it leads up to her getting accepted to the Institute of Special Technologies. And like, it's like Torpa or something like that. See, here's the thing. All of my brain cells remember things, but not fully. And so I'm pitching you like the small details that you don't care about wrong, but whatever. It's in this like very small town that nobody really talks about or knows is on the map or like whatever. Then they fall into it. It's like a normal college. She has maths, she's got PE, which is a little weird for a college, but you know, exercise is important. Literature, like normal classes, but on top of those classes, she has speciality. And that's where this book shines. That's where the book is weird. That's where this whole thing is happening, and we don't really understand it. And I, to this day, having finished this, like, 2 days ago, I don't know what it means. I don't know what it meant. There's a giant spider outside. It was just weird, and I loved the relationships being showed and portrayed in this. They were just so interesting, and I love them. And there's a romance that's not really a romance that best thing ever. I loved him so much, so dearly. It's so good. It's so weird. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to pitch it more than that. While on holiday, she is met by the mysterious Farret, and undertakes a strange task for him. Reluctantly, she obliges, and is rewarded with shining golden coins. The more tasks she performs, the more coins she receives, until she's instructed against the wishes of her family to travel to a remote village and use her gold to gain entrance to the Institute of Special Technologies. Sasha quickly discovers that this is no ordinary school. The books are impossible to read, the lessons obscure to the point of maddening, and knowledge itself refuses to be remembered. Despite this, Sasha undergoes changes that defy matter and time. With experiences that are nothing like what she could have dreamed of before, but which are suddenly all she could ever want. But this learning comes at a cost. The school uses terror and coercion to keep students in line. Should they transgress at all, their families pay a terrible price. A complex blend of adventure, magic, science, and philosophy, expressed through the distinctly Russian voice and astonishing story. This astonishing story will transport the reader to a place far beyond imagining. And oh boy, did it. That sums it up well. Does it make sense when you read the back? Does it sound good? No, but when you've read the book and then you read the back, you're like, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I love this. I loved and adored this. This is like 4.5. I think upon a reread with a little bit less distractions, I was fighting against the clock because I was reading this with the audiobook, which I did enjoy. But I was reading them together and my hold was going to be due soon. So I was here's the thing. This was unputdownable. This was a compulsive read. Like, I wanted to stay up all night and just read this dang thing. I didn't want to put it down. I was having such a good time. But my biggest thing is I had distractions going on. And so I feel like I've missed something. Or I'm just not smart enough. I don't know which. But hey, it's later. I have been successfully just watching YouTube today, but I have 2 big things on the agenda to do before we go to the concert. I guess there's a few things that I want to do before we go. It starts at 5, but Austin had a 3 o'clock work lead, so it might be like closer to 6 or so, but it ends at 10. And so if I conserve my energy well, and I'm not completely miserable the time I get home, which will really be dependent on if I get in the foam or not. Things that I need to do before, preferably 5 p.m. Film and edit a whole stinking video. I gotta do my video for Sunday's upload, because I didn't have time to do that Wednesday. 'Cause I need to film. I already have like the video in mind, but I don't have any planning beyond that. I need to collect 5-star prediction books around me. Yeah, I'm not gonna think too hard about it right now, but 5-star prediction, film and edit preferably, so that I won't have to come home and edit after a show of like being tired and dancing and so on. So, step 1, film, try to edit. 2, oh, 2 was I was gonna say I would love to reorganize some bookshelves, but if I'm being so honest with you, that sounds like a tomorrow thing. Like, that doesn't sound like a, yeah, you've got all the time in the world to do that today, Sam, type of thing. I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking that. So yeah, film and edit, and like get ready for the show. I need to take off my crusty nail polish and stuff, and then like transform into like rave makeup, which I really don't think I'm gonna go wild with it. But anywho, I want to talk to you guys because I've read quite a few books and it's only been a few days. So May, Escape the Readathon is going strong. I did just submit 2 different books for different prompts for our most recent opened game, which is really exciting. I think it's so funny because we don't know how the other teams are doing. Like, unless you hear of like a few teasers given by hosts or by Lexi specifically, you don't know what's going on with the other teams. But I think Team Film Crew is killing it. I think we're doing so good. I'm so proud of us. I don't understand how like the behind the scenes ticket stuff works. So like, to me, it's just like, yeah, we're doing good. We're reading lots. I'm so proud of our team. It's so cool. I love being in the team chat. It's like I'm not active because like I don't have time to really like chat and talk in the Discord, but I do try to be active and like listen to like participate a little bit. Anywho, you don't care. Anyways, that's happening. So I've somehow given myself 2 different challenges for the month of May. Challenge number 1, 31 books in 31 days. It is currently the 11th, and I have read 10, and I would like to finish 3 in the next today and tomorrow. So I think we could do that. I think we could do 31 books in 31 days because I'm not really feeling the burnout yet, and I'm really enjoying reading. It's hard to read on the weekends. That's where my issues lie. But during the week, oh, we're good. And then the other challenge for this month is I'm really trying to increase the number of POC authors, like authors of colors, because oh boy, my stats aren't bad, but they're not great. I've hit over the, like, I think I'm over 60 books now, which I don't know how that happened so fast. April, I really just somehow popped off. But no, I'm at 62-ish. Like, no, not quite 62. And I'm like 38% or something POC authors read. And I would like to bump that up. I'm usually in the 30 to 40% range it keeps going up every year, which is like great on me. But this year I'm aiming for like a nice 50-50. So this month I'm trying to increase that. So with Asian Readathon happening, it's a little bit easier to pick up a lot of Asian authors because a lot of people are talking about the books right now. And also like one of those is like The Last Blood Carver that just came out that I got in, I think, Owl Crate. And so I can read that, and that fits for Asian author. Like, it's all coming together. It's all working out well. I also have a lot of Black authors, and I think 1 Indigenous author, so like there's plenty on the docket. So those are my 2 like challenges for myself because I'm insane. But with that said, I've read a few things since we last talked. Obviously, I told you already about Vita Nostra because I was so excited to share that with you. You know, like that 5-star feeling, that like 4.5, like you really loved a book and you want to talk about it. They're not quite those feelings, so I haven't talked about them yet. But the 2 that I finished during the work week, which was like Thursday, Friday. Anywho, I'm just sitting here contemplating how insane I am when it comes to reading sometimes. I don't know what it is about the spring. Anyway, so the first one that I read was Shoko's Smile. This is by Choi Yoon-young. I don't feel like they pause in between Yoon-young, but I can't say it as seamlessly. But oh my god, the writing was really good. I'm so happy that I picked this up. Shoko Smile is such a cute little cover, and I have known about this since it came out. Like, I've seen it. It went around BookTube for a little bit, and I saw a few people that stick to literary talk about it, and I was like, interested, but not like dying for it. But then for my Biblius TBR game, my punishment was to find an author that had young in their name, and I had 2 options. I still have plans to read the other one that I picked out, but Shoko Smile was the less intimidating of the 2 because it's a short story collection. I think there's 7 stories in total, and I listened to the audiobook, different narrators for the stories. I loved the first 2 the most, and then they kind of get a little bit more speculative by the end, which I wasn't expecting, and I did like that journey that we went through. But I really liked her writing. I think that it was really good. I enjoyed the stories for what they were. I feel like some of it went a little bit over my head, because that happens sometimes when you listen to audiobooks. You feel like you're missing the meaning of things. So I rounded it to like a 4-star overall average. And they were talking about the Vietnam War and the role Korea played in that, which I still don't really know a lot about, but it was kind of interesting to hear like different sides of that rather than like the America version of the Vietnam War. Later stories talked about like disability and ableist rhetoric and just like how people treat people with disabilities. There was a little bit of like queer representation without being like too like in your face. It was like undertone. It was kind of sweet. I liked it. I don't know. Overall, like, I enjoyed the collection. I think it was good. And then, you know, continuing with like hard hitters, because I don't know how to be chill, I guess, this month. But I decided to pick up All My Rage by Taba Sahir, because I don't actually know why I picked that up like specifically this month. I think I was just trying to find audiobooks because I have a lot of like tandem reading and physical books and ebooks that I wanted to get to, but I'm trying to find audiobooks to get me through like the work days. This was on my friends 12 friends recommend 12 books this year and I don't know how to talk about this book, but I want to say like I think this would benefit with like, so in high school I think I read The True Story of a Part-Time Indian, I believe. And that was very eye-opening for me and like a very good discussion heavy book with like serious themes, but for high schoolers to like properly talk about and handle. And I really appreciated it. And I think this kind of falls in that same area of like, this could be taught easily in schools, but it's more so focusing on like Islamophobia and immigration and being a foreigner in a different country, specifically like Muslim in America. Like it's relevant to today as well, which I think makes it a little bit harder to talk about and digest, just because I've been picking up so many things like ever since I read this might sound wild, I'm so sorry, bear with me. Ever since I picked up Crown of Oath and Curses, it's very hard not to read a book with like war-centric things going on, or pick up something like All My Rage that's talking about Islamophobia, and it's very hard to read these things right now. It's so important, but it's so hard at the same time because it's impossible to not think about like current events. And so it's just like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's good, it's important, but also sometimes it's a little heavy and you don't need that right now. But I'm happy that I read this. I've heard nothing but fantastic things about All My Rage, and we're following Sal and Noor, and they've been best friends for a while, and life kind of tore them apart because like unrequited feelings and teen situations where like you think that they like you and then you kiss them and they don't like you and then you have a falling out. Very like typical kid stuff, but also each of their lives have very serious things going on. Noor is helping her uncle, like working at her uncle's liquor store, and that's not the best, and she's trying to get into college so that she can get away from this town and these people and her uncle, and she's been ongoing with that. And then on the other side we have Sal, and his mother passes away pretty early on in the book, and his father falls into alcoholism, and it's very tough, and he gets into some sticky situations trying to save his family's hotel or motel. And yeah, it's not it's not like sweet contemporary romance like I kind of thought it was gonna be. I know it's titled All My Rage, so I should have picked up on like it's gonna be tragic and hard-hitting, and it's gonna talk about regrets and forgiveness, and I didn't know where it was going. I wasn't prepared. And so I was like, oh, wow. But I really enjoyed how it ended and concluded. I liked these characters' journey together and the relationship together, and like the writing style was good. The narrators did a great job. It was like overall a good experience. I gave it 4 stars, maybe like a 3.75, just because I don't really read or enjoy contemporary quite too often, especially when it's YA, but I can see the importance of this book, and I did enjoy like the overallness of it. And so I'm glad I finally picked it up. I feel like I'm like one of the last people to read this. So with that said, yeah, I read that. I'm in the middle of 2 books currently, and then I will be starting this today or tomorrow. So those are kind of my like reading plans. But I really should get going on this whole filming editing situation. So I will check in with you guys later, probably. Okay, hi. I've updated my makeup. I don't know why I want to do rainbow something. And I have now, and it's making me think of like the bubbles. I'm like, oh, the reflection and the bubbles are gonna be rainbows. Anyways, Austin just dumped so much vodka into this. Okay, no. Oh, okay, it's not that bad. It kind of tastes like an apple now. Good morning. I have to go to work soon, so we can't talk for super long, but yesterday I finally finished A Magic Steeped in Poison. This was just a very mid 3-star book for me. It was a very typical YA fantasy. I like the characters. I enjoyed the unique magic system with like using tea to do the magic. Obviously, like, secrets are revealed and betrayals happen and bad things go down in the end, and I was hooked at the end. I was like, okay, I see where this is going. And so I'm excited to check out the second one at some point. I don't know when exactly, but it's just a duology, so that will happen hopefully this year, because I've been marking off my series, which feels great. Speaking of series, I've had another 5-star. A real 5-star. It's so good. It's so good. So I listened to Vows and Ruins, which is the sequel to Blood and Steel. It's the second book. I've already started the third one because Hoopla had it a day early. Today is the release day for the audiobook. But Hoopla had it last night, and I was like, incredible. So I listened to Vows and Ruins like all day yesterday, and I was just like squealing behind my desk, just like having the time of my life. I was thriving. I love these characters. Covers with Cassidy read this before I did, and did like warn about the on and off again, hot and cold that these characters would have. Like they would be, oh god, are they so horny in this one. There are so many smut scenes in the second book. I was a little like flabbergasted by it, but I was like, whatever, let them live, because we know as all books end, you know, there's a third one coming, things are gonna happen, so it's fine. But they would be like sleeping with each other, having a great time, thinking about how much they like each other, and then afterwards just being like, well, that was fun, gotta go. And you're like, what? So besides the hot and cold of it, I loved their banter. We see a lot more of them together and really getting to know each other. I liked seeing those small moments with them and like them bonding and getting to know each other, just traveling, and I just had a lot of fun. I love them so much. So I started the third one. I'll be listening to that today. But in Escape the Readathon news, we got to the game that is a 40-hour readathon, 48 hours to read as many pages as we can, which I saw Covers with Cassidy do this in her first Escape the Readathon weekly 10-day vlog. And so I knew it was an option, but I didn't know like which game it came from, like which carnival building it came from. I'm sorry, I'm explaining poorly. I knew it was gonna happen. So it started at 4:20 yesterday p.m. and so it ends tomorrow at 4:20. So I'm gonna just try to read as much as I can today. I'm gonna listen to Fate and Furies today at work, and then when I finish that, I'll jump into The Endless War and read as much of that as I can. That's 6 hours, so I probably won't be able to finish them both at work. I for sure won't be able to. But those are kind of the starting point of my little readathon. I would have started yesterday, but I had a belated Mother's Day hangout, so I was doing that instead. But ooh, that's my little check-in update. I gotta go to work, so I'll see you guys later. Oh, hello. I'm home from work. Long day, good day was fine. I'm happy to be home. I don't work tomorrow, so this is a decent time for the 48-hour mini readathon happening inside of the Escape the Readathon to happen, because I'm going to try and stay up as late as I can. I'm going to try to read as much as I can. I have currently finished 1.5 books. So I finished Fate and Furies, which is the 3rd book in the Legends of Tharsdod or something. I loved the 2nd book, and I think it stands as my favorite. I just loved all those cute, intimate moments between the two where they were like getting to know each other on a deeper level and just like really understanding each other's backgrounds. I really like that. And then of course you've got like the 3rd act conflict of the book, which leads into the 3rd book's journey. And again, of course, always no spoilers, but I was annoyed because it very well could have been one of those like, communicate, talk. If you guys just like told each other things, it'd be fine. Like things would be okay, but like nobody communicates. And that really irked me. And on top of that, this one definitely felt more plot heavy than the other two for sure, where it was like, okay, everything's coming to head. We're going to war, baby. And I just felt a little checked out. I didn't like it quite as much. I felt like the groveling, the like reconnecting moments just not as strong, and I was just a little disappointed by how it ended. I listened to the ending twice. I was like, oh, I will say I loved that because I've read Slaying the Shadow Prince. I read that before I got into the series, and so I loved seeing and hearing those characters be in this series, and like, oh, I love the little connections, and I thought that was cool. I like the overall plot and concept, but I finished the book and I said, there's another book in the series? And then I looked at the Goodreads and it was like, no, this is the end. And I said, huh? So I listened to it again and I just didn't feel super satisfied. I was like, okay, I guess, but like, now I feel like I'm missing out on something. Like, this could have been 4 books, but like, I don't need it to be 4 books. So I don't know. I'm a little bit bummed. And now I'm on to an equally like good book. Oh, I'm giving Fate and Furies a like 4.25, 4.5. The 2nd book was 5 stars, like really good. Whereas this one's 4.5. Because I still really liked it. I liked being with these characters. I liked the plot. It just wasn't what I wanted it to be. But it was good. So now I'm finishing the Bridge Kingdom series. I'm halfway through the Endless War. And this is following Karis and Zara and like a continuation in their story. But I really love that we are seeing Laura and Aaron again. I'm like, oh, my babies, yes. Like, I love seeing them on this little like kind of heisty. What is it called when you're setting up a heist? Like you're planning to break somebody out of something, like go kidnap someone, but like rescuing. What's that called? Rescue? I guess it's a rescue. That makes a lot of sense. He plans a rescue. He gets his sister, who hates him, help, and therefore Aaron's help. And I love seeing all of them on a page. And we are saving Zara for her crimes. I do enjoy this plot. I do enjoy seeing all these characters. I enjoy like where it's going. I'm at the like halfway mark now, and I'm like, where are we going from here? Like, we could end. Like, what more is there to do? I do kind of know like an inkling just based off like the political intrigue of it all. Like, I know sort of what's to come, but it's like at the same time I'm like, why does this need to be so long? Like, we could start wrapping this up. But I am enjoying it. I like the writing. I love the audible production of it, where you're getting the narrators interjecting in scenes and like the sound effects behind certain like intense moments. I do enjoy it. I'm having a good time. I'm having a silly haha time. But I won't be listening to that for a little bit. I'll probably finish it Like tonight when I'm getting tired, I'll probably pop it on, and then like tomorrow while I'm actively doing stuff, I'll probably listen to it and try to finish it before 4:20 lays in. Let's go. So with that said, it is, oh, we have like less than 24 hours now because it's probably closer to 8 p.m. But we have until 4:20 tomorrow to finish our readathon, Pacific Standard Time, or 48 hours. And so that's kind of all I want to do. And with that said, she's ambitious. Are we surprised? Why am I like this? I don't know. But I got my little bookmark to get me through. I've got a little cat. You're so cute. To get me through. So, my TBR, finishing these two. Whether it makes it for the 48 hours or not, or if it'll just go to the next, like, building, I don't know yet. But my audiobooks on Libby are going to be due very soon. So, I'm going to start with A Tempest of Tea. God, that's so pretty. By Hafsa Faisal, and I'm really excited. I know this is a heist. It's got like a found family type of thing going on. There's vampires, which I'm really excited about. It's such a pretty edition. This is the Fairy Loot edition, and I will tell you more about this when I know, but I don't have the inside synopsis to really like know what else is going to be going on in this, but I'm excited nonetheless. And then I also have due soon. This is the Owl Crate edition of The Last Blood Carver by Vanessa Lay. She's so pretty. I'm excited. I know this is about, okay. Medicine, medical stuff, because that's our author's background. Her only chance to survive lies in a terrible choice: become the dreaded monster the city fears, or risk destroying herself and the future of her kind. So yeah, she's a blood carver, and being a blood carver is really like, I think, being similar to a doctor, but people are like anti that. And then the last thing, finally, hi, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I love the Caraval series. It's the series that really got me into reading again in high school, and has been a book that I've read now 3 times in my life. I read it seemingly every 2 years. I don't know why. Just sort of has happened that way. And this is the sequel. And I've somehow never read it. I love Stephanie Garber. I'm like a diehard fan, and I've never continued with any of her other series. Like I've only read Caraval because I love the world and the writing. It's so fun. So I'm really excited to finally be jumping back into this world. I think this one is going to be following Donatella and Legend instead of Scarlet and Julian. I'm impressed with myself. So I am intrigued to see how I feel about this. I didn't really care for Donatella's character. I feel like this one might be more of the weak book in comparison, just because my love for Caraval is so strong, but we will see. She's chunky. These are all pretty decent sized books, so I'm excited to get started counting as many pages as I possibly can with these very pretty books. I'm so proud of myself for reading my special editions this year. So with that said, I'm going to jump into A Tempest of Tea because this is due soon. So
Macmillan Audio presents A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Faisal, narrated for you by Maya Soroya.
So I've made it 45% in. So this is a heist story. We have our ragtag group that comes together. We've got Arthi, Jin, Flick. These are the 3 POVs we get. And then we have Laith and Mateo. And there's vampires in this world, but it really isn't that significant so far, besides like vampire characters being there, which is fine. I really enjoyed the start, the very first chapter, where we're seeing them hide that their tea house is also like a blood bar at night, which I love that premise. I love the aesthetic and vibes of this book, but something about it is severely lacking for me. I'm having an incredibly difficult time picturing anything in the story. Like, I couldn't tell you what's happening in the action scenes. It's not coming through for me. And I don't know if it's like this writing isn't working for me, which I think is what it might be. Just what I've been reading lately has been very vivid for me, and this is so different from that it's kind of disappointing. I think the characters are fine. I don't have any opinions about them. I don't really care about all of the romances happening. It's been them planning and preparing for this big heist, which I'm assuming will be closer to the end, and like, we're showcasing their abilities, but it's not exciting. I don't feel attached to these characters. It feels more romance heavy than anything, which is fine if that's what you want your book to be, but it's not really what I was going into this expecting. I was expecting more tea house, more vampire, more just like fun vibes. I knew it was going to be a heist, so I shouldn't be surprised, but it's not. I don't know, maybe heist books aren't for me, because I read The Absinthe Underground earlier, like last month, I think, and I also didn't really care so much about the heist, so like maybe it's a me problem. I don't know, but yeah, just something about this is not working for me. But because it's short and I'm already halfway, like I've got less than 200 pages left, I'm probably gonna finish it. But it's like really easy to put back down. It's really easy to just like walk away from, which isn't what I want from my books. I want to be engaged and wanting to pick them up and not like thinking about other things, not wanting to go to sleep. Like, I want more oomph from my books, and I'm not getting that right now. And I'm a little disappointed about it, because it's so pretty and I've heard such good things. I'm really excited to read some good read reviews after finishing it to see like what other people say, because I know everybody loves this author. This was a very anticipated release that like everybody was reading, and so I'm wondering if I'm the outlier or if other people feel the same way. I haven't read We Hunt the Flames. It's on my TBR on the first book, so I will eventually get to it, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm upset about it though. I'm a little bummed. Good morning. We are going to finish Tempest of Tea right now. I have 2 hours left, and I have like 11 hours until the audiobook is due. So this is really just becoming a Libby controls my reading for the next however many days, because so many are due very soon. So that's fun. Libraries control my reading, and we're gonna finish A Tempest of Tea while my dogs go crazy outside. Don't want to talk about it. So I read this, I finished. I had the audiobook on Libby, and I liked in the end, it was an interview, but it was between her and her husband, and I love them as people. I think they are incredible. They're so cute. Their goals, I love them. I don't want to review this book. Here's the thing. If you have an interest in this, if you like We Hunt the Flames, I highly recommend picking this up. If it sounds interesting to you, go for it. If you've read Six of Crows, it's about 50-50 if you're going to enjoy this. I haven't read Six of Crows, but I did not really enjoy this, which is such a shame, because this has such good ratings. People love it, and I am one of those outliers this time, which is so not normal for me. But something about this, super did not work for me. I was struggling. I fell asleep 3 different times. I wasn't vibing. So, since we are following 3 out of the 5 main characters' POVs, we're seeing what you would think is a lot about them and getting to know them, but I never felt connected to any of these characters. I didn't feel like I knew any of them very well. I felt like each of them had one characteristic to them. Like, Arthi was the leader and had, like, no emotions. Jin liked pastries and was... I'll get to the romance stuff later. And then there was Felicity, who had mommy issues and would rather go by Flick. And then there was Mateo, the vampire. And then there was Laith, the blood guard, and had a cat. That's not really enough. They all have, like, troubled past, where, like, their parents are dying or dead or disinterested in having a relationship with their kid. And I was just like, okay, cool, found family, but it felt so forced. This book is so character driven. It is all about the characters and their relationship, which if you like these characters, that's going to be great for you. But I didn't connect to them. I could care less about any of these romances. The love triangle felt so incredibly forced. The only romance that I did like was Jin's little thing going on. And I liked that, but it was not enough to carry a whole book. The heist was boring. Everything leading up to it was boring. I didn't care about what was going on or what was going to happen or how they were figuring things out. I did not care once we actually got to the heist. I had this, like, high expectation of, like, mainly there's this photo where they're, like, in more party wear, like they're going to a ball or something. And so I was really excited for this, like, lavish event where they were doing the heist, which, yeah, but it was so stunted. The chapters got very short and it was switching POVs all the time, being like, this happened and this happened. But, like, we ended Arthi's perspective, and then we, like, went to Jin, and then we went back to Arthi, and stuff happened in between that we didn't see. And I understand, like, the concerns of you're planning a heist with this, like, forced found family and new team, and so you don't want to be repetitive by showing the heist later and it goes beat by beat exactly how it is, but it's supposed to have hiccups. It's supposed to have things that you're not expecting. It's supposed to go wrong. And I didn't feel any stakes in this book. I knew everyone was going to be fine. I knew nothing grave was going to happen. The plot twists at the end weren't that captivating. I was so checked out by the end too. Like, this is where I stopped reading physically. I listened to the last of it. I think, like, 40 minutes I just listened to it. I fell asleep during parts of it. I just did not care and have an interest, and I'm really bummed about it because I really wanted to like this. I'm so worried about picking up We Hunt the Flames now because I soft DNF'd that a while ago, and so now I'm not sure if this is the author for me, which sucks because I like her as a person, and it sucks when you like an author for who they are, but, like, their books just don't work for you. The writing was fine, but again, I just didn't feel any connection to these characters. The plot was rather non-existent. I was really, like, wanting from this big heist, fun, things like that, but mostly I wanted the tea house, like the tea place that they own that at night is for the vampires. There was not enough vampires in this. There was not enough of the tea house. It felt very irrelevant to the plot. Like, obviously it had importance to the character, but we're barely there. We don't really see it. You see, like, it in its full force at the beginning of the book and then, like, nothing. And I was just like, giving it 2 stars. I'm sorry. I know people love this. Like, I have friends who love this, so I don't want to deter you from picking this up. If it sounds interesting to you, please read it, pick it up. It's good for what, like, the concepts of it are so good. It just didn't work for me. And I'm one of the outliers in it. So the concept of people owning a tea heist, it, like, talks about colonialism. It had a lot going on and for it. It wasn't what I wanted. It didn't work for me. I'm really bummed about this. I'm really bummed. But it's been read. The 48 hours is over. Before I finished this, I actually finished The Endless War, which is the fourth book in the Bridge Kingdom, but it also like is really just like, it's two duologies but in the same series, if that makes sense. And so I finished the Bridge Kingdom. Following different characters took me a while to get into it, so I didn't love The Inadequate Heir. I gave it 3 stars, but now that I'm like used to the characters back in the world, I was into the politics, into this like war and what was going on. I was very invested in that. I enjoyed seeing the two of them figuring out like their own situations but trying to come together. A lot of like, I'm with you for a little bit but then I have to separate from you types of things. I really enjoyed seeing more of Lara and Aaron in this book, like just in the background, like helping out with stuff. I really enjoyed that. I liked where it ended. It had a lot of oomph at the end, which I enjoyed, and I was a lot more engaged in this one than I was the previous. So I'm giving it 4 stars. Overall I liked it. I had a good time. I am officially Danielle L. Jensen fan because I read 5 books this year alone. Look at me. I finished 2 series back to back. Granted, I did also start one. Oh, with that said, this is a series. I think it's going to be a duology. I'm not entirely sure. It could be a series, but I think probably duology. I will continue with this though. I did not like it. You're right. I was bored. I didn't care. I had very little interest, but I still want to pick up the sequel. So we'll see how that goes. If I don't enjoy the sequel, I'm gonna be done with the series if that's not the end, because I do think like there's potential for me to like it. I just didn't love the characters. I won't be buying it, but I'll maybe listen to it when the hype comes around, when it's released and everyone's loving it. I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll listen to it, because it ends on a cliffhanger. There's a bang. I think there could be a lot of character development in the second book where it can make me like these characters more. But oh my god, another thing, this book, if you don't like dialogue heavy books, which I do, that's something I love about fantasy romance, is you're getting so much dialogue between characters so often. I love that. It was too much in this. It was way too much dialogue. Oh my god, it was nothing but dialogue. This whole book was dialogue. It's like, y'all talk too much. And because it was in third person, I felt disconnected already to the characters, because it, see, here's another thing, the Endless War, it's in third person, but I feel so involved in the characters. Like, I know their emotions and feelings, whereas this was third person, but I didn't feel that connection. It's a very weird thing. I'm still figuring out which writing styles I prefer and like how I determine which it is. I like always say that I like first person, but I can clearly like some third persons, but I'm more picky with it, so I'm figuring that out. But yes, with that said, I have finished the like little 48 hours, so now we're going on to the next building. I would really like to finish a book. I need to finish Ling Hun, which I talked to you guys about in my last vlog, and so I really want to continue and finish that. I've got like 77 pages, so I kind of want to just like knock out a few Kindle Unlimited shorter books right now, just to get like those off the TBR and then like, you know, go back to reading stuff. But I do still want to and need to read my library books, because Libby's gonna take the Blood Carver in 2 days, and then I have like 4 days left for Legendary, so I have those as well that I need to read. So, you know, lots to be done. I'll figure that out on my own time, and I'll update you guys when I have more to say book-wise. So that's my update for now though. Friends, hi. I'm getting ready to go to work here very soon, but I wanted to hop on and start talking to you about Ling Hun. I really need to learn how to pronounce this book. This book, I am like a little over halfway, and I'm really enjoying it, but it's easy to put down. It's a short 150-page horror novella about grief, which is not my favorite thing. I feel like every horror is about grief nowadays, which is fine, but it's not something that I relate to often, so it's not something I can get behind usually. In this case, there's 3 different perspectives, which I really like because they're told in each writing style. So we've got Bunki, and she is written in first person, and she's our like main character. Her and her family move in to this weird neighborhood of houses that let you see the ghost of dead people, typically for your families, and it's a place people go to grieve and be with their family members that passed, and then like eventually move on and will sell the house, and there are people like Liam who are loiterers, and Liam is written in the third person, and Liam and his family have been there for like 2 or 3 years, waiting for a house to open up, and then houses go to auction, and it gets a little intense. It's not like a hee hee ha ha good time. It's no fun. And then we also have Miss, who is in the house across the street, and she's very old. She's written in the second person, so it's you went to put your husband's coat on, but she can't see her husband. I've seen a whole lot of her perspectives, but she kind of like pops in and she's like, yeah, I noticed that like Liam and Wenki are getting along and they're kind of friendly. I wonder what's going on there. I'm gonna try the auction because my house isn't working. And so it's a very interesting premise, but not a whole lot has happened. We've had like one big actiony scene during an auction, and then we haven't really had a whole lot since. There's a lot of character grief. Like Wenki can't really hear her brother and can't see him super well. Her mother has completely lost the plot. Like, she is so far from being normal, and is like so obsessed with her dead brother, where, and oh, the quote, I'll put it here because I'm gonna paraphrase and it's gonna be wrong, but it's like, this town worships the dead but disrespects the living, but like better. A better quote than what I just gave you. And that's basically the premise of this whole book, and I really am enjoying it. So I will finish that hopefully soon. I've been in the middle of it for quite a while, so I would love to finish it tonight, even if I could. But I started a new book last night. We'll talk about that when I'm a bit further in, simply because I've been reading so many books at the same time that I don't want the vlog to get too confusing, trying to like sort what book goes with, like what thoughts are with what book. But today at work, I'm hoping to listen to at least 2 books, depending. One of them is pretty short. I'm going to listen to The Center, which is about this woman whose boyfriend is like a part of this like elite society, and in the society you can only tell one person like about it and like what's going on, and so he decides to tell his girlfriend, the main character, and you can go there, and I guess, I don't know if it's just languages or if there's more to it, but she can go there and she can learn languages, and it's super elite. And besides that, I don't really know. It's horror, so I know something weird is going to be happening, but I don't know what yet. And so I'm pretty intrigued. Bless you. So I'm pretty intrigued to see how it goes, what I think of it, and I don't know what else I'm going to read after that. So we've got options, so that'll be fun, but I'll figure that out later and tell you after work, because I can't talk at work, because that'd be weird. Hello! Many hours later. I'm home from work. I'm not in a reading slump, but my recent reads have not gone super well for me, which has me a little nervous for how this month is going. Here's the thing. When doing Escape the Readathon, it is a readathon that you go very hard for. You're trying to read as much to get through these rooms because there's a competition element, you want to win, yada yada yada. I'm reading far more than I normally do at a different pace, but also picking up things that are questionable maybe. This one unfortunately was not a questionable pickup. It should have been a hit. It should have been so good. I should have loved it. And it's another 2.5. I rounded it up to 3 once I finished it, and I said it was a 2.5. Very mid, very okay. And now that I've sat with it, I've read other 2-star reviews, I feel like it is closer to a 2-star. But my last read was a 2-star, so I don't want to have this many bad books. I read The Center. Luckily this was a short book, but oh my, did it feel long. I took a break today from listening to so many books. I was like, okay, go easy. You're kind of ahead of schedule. If I finish the things that I'm currently in the middle of, I'll be at like 19, and it's the 16th. So I'm like ahead of schedule for books that I'm reading for my 31 in 31 days challenge, which is a win. But The Center felt so incredibly long. I felt like I was reading it forever, listening to it forever. The narrator was fine, but the plot that I told you guys earlier happens very early on, and then you don't see it anymore. It's done. Like, there's no more of it. Like, why don't I get more of it? I really wanted horror, with that like social commentary undertones, but like spooky, eerie stuff going on throughout. That didn't happen. The plot twist was basic. It's normally a trope that I love in my books, and it didn't work. What's up with that? But yeah, so the plot that I told you was the beginning of the book, sort of, and I wanted deeper conversations in language and translation, and then I'm gonna try not to spoil this, but oh boy, do I wish I could. Because I feel like there just could have been a lot of deeper conversations than we got. We got a lot of surface level things of like feminism and colonialism and racism and like kind of weird Muslim rep that I can't really critique on, but I've read some reviews that are like not super happy about it. It was just a weird mishmash of things of like trying to do too much and accomplishing none. Like it was just dabbling in some of the conversations rather than going deep in anything. And I feel like this book could have been so much better if it really just stuck with translation and what that means and how you learn it and just like languages in general. And there could have been so much more from this that I just didn't get. So much of this was focused around our unlikable main character, which you can still care for her, relate to her, like her, whatever, but she wasn't working for me. And a lot of this is just about her relationships with these 3 other people. Trigger warning for sexual assault. Oh boy, didn't like that. That didn't work for me. This was just like a very big letdown because a lot of it was just our unlikable character monologuing to herself about things and not really having a firm stance on stuff. One of the like major players in the book is an IDF retired soldier, and it's just like a lot of it just kind of was like, I don't like this right now. So it didn't really work for me. I wish that it did. I really wanted this to work for me. I think if we had stuck with the center and like what was going on there, and that was the main focus, and we talked about translation and what it means to learn from different sources or a singular source, learning it so fast, because the whole thing is like you go to the center, you pay $20,000, you stay there for 10 days, and you walk out learning a language. And there's obviously like a bigger thing to it, which I won't spoil, but it's got the plot twist to it, which I think could be unique, but it just felt brushed off and quick and just like not the point. And I was just disappointed overall. I don't know. I'm just, it's not what I wanted it to be. And I know a lot of people love this, so I don't know what I missed. I don't know why it didn't work for me. I wish that it did though, but you know, sometimes that happens, sometimes it happens. But now that I am home, there's quite a few things that I would like to read, but priority will have to be with my Libby holds. I have until tomorrow at like 9:30 in the morning to finish the last blood carver, so that is my agenda. I have 300 pages left. I read 84 last night, so that's my plan. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Okay, so yeah, that's my plan. I'm gonna read 300 pages of that and then maybe more, who knows. Okay, so here we have the last blood carver by Vanessa Lay. I'm thriving with this. I'm having so much fun. I'm enjoying this so much. So I'm 84 pages in, as I mentioned earlier, and so far I'm obsessed. I really am having so much fun. It's such a unique and interesting magic system, but it's also like, ooh, rare chosen one kind of thing, but not in your typical YA fantasy trope. I don't know, there's something about it. It's doing it. I don't want to speak too soon, but if it goes well for the next 300 pages, could be 5 stars. Could be. So here we have the last blood carver, where we are following, of course, I've forgotten her name because it's been a whole ass day, Nika. So in this, we are following Nika, who is a heart sooth, who is like rare. They're kind of dying out. They are a normal person, but they also have like this weird connection and magical-ish ability to connect to other beings as well, especially people, and see what's wrong with them, heal them. Um, her family uses this power for good to heal people around and can like see, she hasn't put it into words, so I can't really put it into words. She so far has says that she has a tissue that gives empathy, and that empathetic, empathic, empathetic. That piece of tissue gives her empathy towards other people and their pain, and she's able to kind of like fix it by using calories, energies, stuff like that. Vanessa Lay has a background in medical science of some sort, and so she is really speaking from her knowledge, which is really cool because like she knows anatomy far better than I do, and I trust everything that she's telling me. Nika is very quickly caught and captured and taken by the butchers, which is like kind of like a gang that do a lot of like underground black, what's it called, is it just a black trade, black, do a lot of underground trading and selling of things, and they're going to sell Nika to the highest bidder. And luckily for her, the highest bidder just so happens to be a teenage girl with way too much money. And basically, at this point, we are seeing that Nika has been tasked to help somebody who means a lot to their family, a family friend, a dear friend who was there when their dad passed away in a car accident. And so they want to heal him from this coma. And so she has to learn more about anatomy than she actually knows. It's felt a little bit convenient so far, but I am enjoying it. I'm really enjoying the character voice. I'm enjoying the, I'm assuming, found family that we are going to be getting out of these characters being together. There's just something about them that are all kind of unique and fun. Like, they don't trust each other, but also they're working together and like homing her, like giving her a place to stay, nice clothes, a meal. Like, she's got it good. Things are going well. She's getting paid. Like, it's a good gig. Whereas before, she was traveling and doing, is it homeopathic medicine? Like, ooh, have some eucalyptus oil and then like you'll heal, kind of weird stuff. But also, her kind is, because of colonialism, of course, the island that she is from or lived on, like a bunch of her people were taken out, and therefore there's not many left. Her grandma is dead, her mom recently died, and so she's got a lot of grief going on, and seeing like the power overtake her, what she once knew, is just, sad and heartbreaking, and she's trying to find her place in life while also not being accepted by the masses. I'm intrigued, and I still don't really know. I have a hunch who this romantic interest is going to be that I don't currently know, and I would like to. I'm like, you're kidding. Gorgeous. This is so pretty. This is the Owl Crate Special Edition. I'm so excited. So I'm going to sit back, get cozy in bed, and I'm gonna bang this the rest of this out. I've got, like I said, 300 pages exactly left. It's 800 and 300. It's not 800 pages. 384 pages, and it's got a very nice ribbon bookmark. So your girl is thriving. So I'm gonna read. Thanks for hanging out at my TED Talk. Hopefully it's 5 stars because I could really use one. Let's go. Progress has been made. We're getting there. Pretty good. Page 264. I totally did not stop in the middle of a chapter to eat dinner. Not me, no never. So I'm still really liking this. My qualms with it that might bring it down a star is just that the character makes really dumb decisions, and the thing is I understand why she's making them, and that makes sense. Like, she has motives, and I understand them, and for that, it kind of makes me justify the bad decisions that she's making that I know she shouldn't be doing. Like, I know she's making the wrong choices, and it gets a little frustrating, but like I can see where she's coming from. So I'm like, well, my other thing though is this book is a little bit predictable. I've been able to see where things are going or other character motives before the main character can. And so I don't know if it's just like a I understand reading so well, I'm really good at this, or if it's just laid out a bit easier because it's debut, so she is a little more heavy-handed with it. So it is one of those things where I'm like, it's good, I like it, but as a debut, it's not like the best written book. But I'm excited to see where Vanessa Lay goes from here in the future. My other last thing, is we are very in her head. Oh my goodness. We are getting a lot of internal dialogue, monologues to herself where she's like, you made a promise. Made a promise to who? Well, to this person. Well, that doesn't mean anything to you. Well, maybe this person. Well, that still doesn't mean anything to you. To myself. And you're just like, okay, I don't need your back and forth dialogue. Sorry. So we're very in her head, and she asks herself a lot of questions to like figure out where she wants to go and what decisions she wants to make. She'll be like, should I do this thing? I really shouldn't. Should I? It's not the right thing to do, is it? But I'm gonna do it anyway. You're like, okay, girl, I get it. So the writing has a few more like juvenile, like you can tell it's so sorry. She is you can tell at times it's definitely more YA, which is fine. But it's a little more obvious than I would say like a normal book that I pick up. But overall, like I'm still really enjoying the magic element of it, her gift, and seeing like how it affects the world around her and how people feel about it. We are in the thick of like the mystery. It's not really a mystery by this point. We know what's going on, but like you're going crazy. It's not quite a mystery. We know like answers by now, but I'm excited to see how it's going to resolve in the end here and what more there's to say and do. But I'm still enjoying this. It'll probably be more of like a 4-star book for me though. Okay, good morning. I finished last night. I did it. Yeah, I did give it 5 stars. I did. Is it perfect? No. Does it definitely have some like debut writing flaws that were noticeable? Yes. Did they bother me enough to like lower a star? Clearly not. Oh, the ending. Oh, the ending. Here's the thing. I'm so proud of myself for doing good at reading my book subscription boxes like as they come. Like I just got this from Outcrate last month. So good on me. I'm doing great on that front. But the downside is when they're series, you have to wait a whole ass year for the sequel. Oh my god, Vanessa Lay was not afraid to go there at the end. She has no fear. She is a brave author. I think a lot of people could aspire to be more like Vanessa Lay. Vanessa Lay? More like Vanessa Slay. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. This was so fun. The magic system was so unique. I will say, there's also a bit of like an insta-love thing, but I can understand why. Like, there's at least a reasoning behind it that I'm like, oh, sure. Okay. So it doesn't bother me as much, but I also am like kind of an insta-love girly. It doesn't really bother me like it does a lot of people normally, but you know, here in the back, also what's cool is this Owl Crate special edition gives us an annotated version of chapter 19 from the author, which I think is fun. Here you see. Don't miss the explosive follow-up to The Last Blood Carver coming soon. Not soon enough, for one, and for two, the sequel's gonna be explosive. This ending was so explosive. What the hell? This made me emotional. I teared up twice towards like the middle end. Basically from the like last point that I checked in with you guys, I teared up twice. I laughed out loud once. It's fun. I like their cute little banter. I like how they played off of each other, the two love interests. I love Mimi and Ando and Trin, like that. They are family, but she's kind of a found family into it, but like awesome not. And I just really enjoyed that dynamic. It was a lot of fun. I love this. This was a great time. I'm so happy that I read this. With that said, oh, I have a lot of plans for today. And the first one is to listen to the audiobook for Someone You Can Build a Nest In by John something. And I don't know a whole lot about this. It is the current Reddit r/fantasy book club pick for May. So I'm picking it up. I have the audiobook from Libby. We will see how it goes. I know very little about it, but I know that we are following the monster's POV. I know that this is sapphic. I know that it is a romance horror. And she, like, the monster falls in love with a girl, but then, like, things go wrong. She's like, well, I can't eat my girlfriend, so I gotta figure something out. I don't know more than that, but I was told, I posted on, like, my Instagram stories, I was like, all right, time for this, let's go, next book. And I got one response, and it was, somebody loved this. Beck was like, I love this was so good. And I was like, incredible, I haven't heard anyone talk about this, so I'm excited to see what I think. And she said, gruesome and cute, and I said, say less. Incredible, I'm so excited. So that's on the reading docket. I need to finish my buddy read with my mom because the audiobook is due tomorrow, and I would like to be done with that. But I think I'm going to talk about that in a different vlog because I have an Escape the Readathon idea in my noggin that I would like to do. So, cool. And then I guess I'll let you know if I have time to read anything else before this evening. If not, you'll see what I read. Oh, hey, hi, and hello. I've made it through a whole work week. Let's go. I finished 2 books, but one of the books I think I'm going to save to talk about for my next vlog that will come out, just because, again, like I mentioned earlier, I have no ideas. We'll see how it goes. With that said, I finished Someone You Can Build a Nest In. It's fantasy, it's horror, it's romance, it's very genre bending, and it's gruesome and cute. It's so sweet. The romance is precious and adorable. It's genuinely, like, it's a nice romance. But also there's some gore. There's some eating. You know, we are in the monster's POV. We are getting the monster's perspective. And our monster had a near-death experience. They're a shapeshifter and constantly being hunted. And one of these assassination attempts, if you will, did not go well, and she went off a cliff, and therefore she almost died. But luckily for her, a sweet girl heals her back to health. You know, just for funsies, the kindness of her heart, sees a damsel in distress, heals her right up, and they might have fallen in love. It's sapphic, it's so sweet. The love that these two have for each other is truly precious. Like, it's incredible. And she, a monster, has a very different opinion and, like, perspective on love and, like, what love is. And so she's learning human love and, like, what that means to her girlfriend, which is precious. It's so sweet. And basically, like, her goal, she's like, oh, I'm gonna put eggs in you and they're gonna eat you from the inside out. And then she learns that, like, that's not human love, though. And so she's like, oh, I guess I won't do that. Weird. We'll have to figure something out. And so while they're, like, figuring out their romance, she's, you know, eating a few people here and there, meets the soon-to-be in-laws, and, you know, they're maybe hunting this exact monster that we're following, because this monster has been... They've decided that this shapeshifter is the one who put a curse on their family, and so they're all having a hunting party to go find the monster. Woo! So our main character, like, the big plot is that she is finding who actually put the curse on her girlfriend's family to, like, save the day. It's fun. It's wacky. I really liked it up until, like, the 75-80% mark. Once, like, the big climax happened and then we continue from there, I was like, ooh, I don't care about the rest of this. The rest of this is not the type of book that I would like to read. It's not interesting to me. It's not my thing. So for that, I'm giving it 3 stars. Just because I didn't love the ending, but I had fun getting there. I really enjoyed the climax. I was entertained. I swooned at these girls. They were very cute together. So overall, I thought it was pretty fun. I thought it was good. I do recommend it. I have not heard many people talk about it. So thank you, Our Fantasy, for putting this more on my radar. Thank you, Beck, for being like, hey girl, this was fun. Yeah, so if you're interested, check it out. I thought the writing was good. It's the author is John Wilson? or something. This is his debut book, and I thought the writing was pretty good. And for a man writing a sapphic romance, it was good. I didn't have any like qualms or issues with it really. It was just like that end stuff that I was like, no, I don't want that. But now it is the evening of times, and so I think now for the game that we're currently in with Escape the Readathon, I'm going to read a short novella. It's the 0.5 in the Zodiac Academy. I've already started it, but I only got like 15 maybe pages in, so I'm gonna finish that tonight. I think that's kind of my goal, because it's short. It's Zodiac Academy 0.5 novella. It is following the male characters, like a teacher and like some students, I think, as well as like just their origin story. It's called Origin of an Academy Bully. So yeah, I don't know how I feel. As someone who hasn't read the first Zodiac Academy yet, I feel like I'm not quite gaining as much out of it, but I know that like the first book is a bully romance, so maybe this is supposed to give me like more empathy towards these boys before jumping into it. I'm not sure if I'm rating them in the right order, I'll be honest, but that is what I'm working on. Once I finish that, I really would like to read more of Ling Hoon, and then we'll go from there. But it seems like a lot of Kindle Unlimited reading will be happening this weekend, so we go. Good morning. I'm sleepy. Last night, well, yesterday in general, so much to update on. So 1, I finished 2 books. I finished one Friday night, the other one Saturday morning. But Saturday, we had a 2.5 hour drive up, and then 2.5 hour drive back down to go to Austin's cousin's graduation party. It was a good time. I'm glad that we ended up going and hanging out. We got there like at the end of the party, so it was nice to just chat with his family and get to know them. And then we came back home. I started editing, but it was like 11 o'clock and I was so tired, and I wanted to stay up so bad for the live release of The Throne of Honor and Blood by Jay Bree, which is the sequel to A Crown of Oath and Curses. But Miss Jay Bree and her team are having a lot of issues, and it's not looking good for them right now. So there's drama there. But long story short, it's not released yet. It's the 19th. It didn't happen 9 p.m. Eastern. It didn't happen midnight PST. It's 11 in the morning now, and it's still not available. So that sucks. But luckily, that means that I can read the things that I didn't get to read yesterday. So first, I will update you. I finished reading The Origins of an Academy Bully, which is the 0.5 novella in the Zodiac Academy series. Again, I don't know if this is the right place to start, but it's Darius and Lance Orion. And Orion, I think, is going to be a teacher because they've got like a weird age gap, which is why they're not dating, but they should be. They're boys, so like can't be gay, but like have the connection that they definitely could be, minus the age gap. But Darius is going into his first year at the Zodiac Academy, and they're like heirs to the world, and it was fine. It was nice getting to know the world through this like shorter lens of like seeing the different creatures that exist and like a little bit of like the political dynamics going on that probably aren't going to be as obvious in the first book of the Zodiac Academies, where like you're getting to know the girls and like them exploring this world. So it's kind of nice to just be like, here's how it is from an insider's perspective, if you will. But the writing was fine. I gave it 3 stars. Like, it was just fine. It was good to know the world, the characters. I didn't think it was a hindrance, but also like I don't care about these people, and I know they're going to be complete assholes for very little reason, so I don't care either. But it was emotional, it was tense, there was a lot going on, but there were like certain lines that would just really take me out of the story. Like, I understand that in the first book we're following 2 girls that live in like our world, and then they're taken to the world of Zodiac Academy where there's Fae and Cyclops and so on and so forth. But it's thrown me off when they're just like, oh yeah, something about Henry VIII, and you're like, wait, why this doesn't feel like it fits. And so there was just like some jarring moments in the writing where I was like, what is happening right now? But it was fine. It was a good introduction. It was short. It was sweet. It helped with a prompt for Escape the Readathon. And speaking of Escape the Readathon, I desperately needed a book that was 4 letters long. It was a very specific thing that I needed. So I ended up picking up The Monster of Eldenhaven by Jennifer Geisbrecht. I think it's a German last name, so I don't know how to say it. I'm sorry. But this was fine. I gave this 2 stars. It was very short. I was looking for a novella to just kind of listen to quickly because it wasn't obviously on my TBR for the month, and so I didn't want to waste too long listening to a 4-book title just to continue with my TBR. So I picked up this novella. It's horror and fantasy. It's a queer monster romance type of thing. It wasn't as gory as I was thinking it would be. The writing was fine, but it just like really missed the mark for me. Because it's so short, it's hard to have a lot of care for these characters. I like the overall concept and plot of this like revenge story of this monster taking back the town and eat the rich and all. I thought that was fine, but I just wasn't captivated by these characters. The town was nice. It was like a coastal ocean town, and I like those typically, but this one just didn't quite have the same atmospheric feeling to it. So it was very just like a mid 2-star. I didn't really like it that much. I didn't have a lot of fun. I couldn't connect to any of the characters. I didn't care what was gonna happen. The ending was quite abrupt, and it was just like, oh, that happened. Okay, moving on. So yeah, I did it, but it was meh. And then finally finished Linghan, which, oh my goodness, the ending, I don't know what happened. I don't think I'm smart enough. I'm so excited for Katrina's book club, the Reaper book club's live show, to talk about this, because I need somebody smarter to explain to me what just happened at the end there, because I was lost. But the writing is stunning. This is the first book that I have highlighted quotes in. It's the first one that I'm like, oh, this hits me emotionally. It's not so much about immigration and losing of self, because that's what the author is writing a new novel to go more in depth thematically about. So this one was more just grief, but it still touches on like immigration and losing part of yourself when you move to a new country, especially if like from her experience, China to Canada or America, etc. Like you're really losing a part of that culture and language and so on and so forth. And I just thought it was very beautiful and well done. I really liked this exploration of grief. You're really like getting introduced to this world in the first half, and then the second half just like flies by. There's no consequences. It's just like super fast-paced happening. You're getting from like point A to point B really fast. Like a whole year elapses within like a chapter. Like it just goes very quickly. I don't know if I would say necessarily that it was rushed, because I feel like it was intentional. This actually was 119 pages rather than 150, because at the end there was like a note from the author, and then also 2 short stories that were like in magazines that were added on as well. So there was more content, which was fine. But it was one of those things where like, I know this was probably intentionally ended this way, but it did feel a little bit rushed, where it was like, we're just trying to get to the end now. But overall, I did like it. I feel like the last line was really meant to like pack a punch. Like it was supposed to have an impact, and I just did not understand what was happening, so I missed that impact. But I think I'm gonna give this like just a straight flat 4 stars. Like I thought it was good. I thought it was beautifully written. I really like these characters. I like the different writing styles for each perspective that like very clearly cemented that we were with somebody else. It was really interesting, and I liked how full circle it came. So those are the things that I read. Today I would like to continue. Last night I started The Prisoner of Silk. I don't remember who this author is, but it's so far it's fae and fairies with humans. Our main girl is a human, and currently 3 chapters in, it's very Sleeping Beauty. She didn't go into an eternal sleep for 100 years, and so therefore now her mom, her dad, the king, died, so her mom is the queen and in power, and the mom is like, I gotta get you married, you gotta be like, gotta get you gone. And so because she's cursed, nobody really wants to marry this child, and so she gets a letter from the fae king, and he's like, she can marry my son or grandson or whatever he is in relations to, because we are the kingdom with the witch that cursed her, so we feel slightly responsible for the curse that's been upon of her, and so we'll take good care of her and she can marry into our family. And also, like, you're the human kingdom, we're a fae kingdom, so it's a good alliance, and so politically speaking it's a good match. And so they've been like sending letters, and she's been going through just absolute 5 years of training. It's been a little toxic, it's been quite misogynistic, it's been very just like, I don't know if this is like the origin story where we see so much character development, or if this is just like the tonal for the whole story. I don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see, but it's 180 something pages, so it should hopefully be pretty quick to get through. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at while my YouTube video is exporting, because I finished editing this morning. It took way too long. Oh my god. Sleepy girl. But that's kind of where we're at today. Today, I kind of just want to relax and take it easy and read. I have like work this week, and then Wednesday, Austin is going to visit his family down south for his weekend, and so I will be home alone, and I think that's the day that I'll plan on cleaning a bunch. So today I just kind of want to take it easy and rest and read and maybe eat some good food, and that's about it. So I will check in with you guys later when I have more thoughts about Prisoner of Silk, but right now it's just misogynistic but easy to read, very quick to read. The writing style is quite simplistic, but also still good. I've already highlighted like 2 things in the first couple chapters, so we will see. This could go really good or really bad. I'm really not sure. It's got like a 3.09 average rating on Goodreads, I think, so we'll see. Mine's like, you suffer for his pleasure now. I don't know if I can keep doing it. I will at least get to 50% before DNFing, but oh my god, I understand why this is the lowest rated book on my Goodreads right now. I understand. Good morning. Hello. So today at work, at the office, whilst I was click-clacking away, I ended up finishing 2 books, which, go me, I'm proud of myself. I am so ahead of my schedule for this 31 books in 31 days. I think today's the 20th. Yeah, so today's the 20th, and I think I read 22 or 23 books so far. Crushing it. As for my goal of increasing the POC authors, we're getting there. I think last I checked it was like 46% of my reads, so I want to bump that up, but luckily a lot of my POC authors I have for like this week, so I think that'll work out well. But today I ended up finishing, oh booyah. So I ended up listening to all of Legendary today at work. I was wanting to tandem read this, and I know I will probably read this again in the future because I really love Caraval, but when I first started this a couple days ago, I was like, ooh, no, I don't think I'm gonna read this. This doesn't sound good. And then I restarted it this morning, and I was like, okay, I can get back into it. But this one and I think Finale are both following Scarlett's sister Donatella, and she's not like my favorite character. You definitely get to know her better in her own story, and she's not like completely insufferable, so it was fine. But in this, we are following Donatella. They're going back to Caraval to play the games. She is tasked to getting Legend's real name so that she can... Is that a spoiler? Because she's also trying to find somebody. I'll leave it at that so I don't get too spoilery. I ended up enjoying this. It's like 4 stars. It was a good time. I just loved being back in this world. I love the world of Caraval so much. Just the fantasy, the descriptions. I really like Stephanie Garber's writing. I know a lot of people don't, and that's totally fair, but it really works for me, and I had a good time. I like this. I'm glad that I ended up sticking with the audiobook because I liked the narrator, I liked the storytelling and everything, and I liked just listening to it because Stephanie Garber has easy enough writing that you really don't need to like listen super intently, so it was a very nice audiobook for the office today. But yes, I'm glad that I finally have finished. Now I just need to read Finale, and then I'm done with the series and I can move on. Incredible. It's only taken 6 years. And the other thing that I ended up listening to today at the office was a reread for Forest of Souls by Lori M. Lee. And the reason I wanted to reread this was I knew, like, I remembered what happened, but I just wanted to make sure that, like, I was concrete in my feelings before going into the next book, because I listened to the audiobook for Forest of Souls, I think 2 years ago. And I remembered everything, so it was fine. I definitely was tuning out more than maybe intended, or like I would have liked to. But I still really like the focus on friendships in this. There's not really romance going on. I really love the twist that happens with our main character's best friend. In this, basically, we are following, we'll call her S for now, but we're following S, who's been kind of like trained as a warrior and has been an apprentice to someone she's looked up to her whole life. And an attack happens, her best friend is in danger, and it is found out that our main character S is shaman born, which means that she is magic, which is like super outlawed, not okay. The queen is like, heck no, you can't do that. And it, like, if you're found out to be a shaman, it's basically like a death sentence. And so we're basically following her, and it's a lot of politics. It's a lot of world building, and I like it, but I'm not like super engaged. Again, the characters are where it really shines. I really like the relationship between different characters and like seeing the friendships and the trust build and so on and so forth. But towards like the beginning, middle, when they're in the Forest of Souls, oh, it's so good. I love the forest. I love the imagery of the forest. The setting is so well done. It's like my favorite thing so far. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna finish the series probably tomorrow at work. That's kind of my goal, to listen to the last 2 books. Now the third one, third and done. It's a trilogy. It's the Shamaborn trilogy. So the third one came out, I think, in April. So I'm excited to finish up another series. I'm so proud of myself for finishing series lately. It's great. I think Forest of Souls is still coming out about 3.5. I didn't feel any different with it. So, you know, it is what it is, but I'm excited to continue and see where it goes tomorrow. But those are my little reading updates. Escape the Readathon's going strong. Lexi just did the spins for who this week is getting like tickets taken away, but based off the Game Masters, and not bad. I will take how Film Crew turned out. It wasn't the worst options. It could have been much worse, and it wasn't too bad. So we're good there. My goal between today, this evening, and Wednesday is to finish 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, 5, 6 books. I'm crazy. I've got unhinged this month. I feel like next month will also be the same chaotic reading way too much energy, and then like July will be my chill season, but we'll have to just wait and see. I'm loving reading right now though. I'm having so much fun. I'm actively wanting to pick things up and like get to the next stuff. Like, I'm having a blast. I will probably also have my first rant review coming out either, if not this month, that is like a sporadic upload, then in July, because I really would like to talk about Prisoner of Silkmore with all of you. So look out for that. That'll be fun. And yes, that's all I have for you. I'm going to eat now. We got one of the cool Costco freezers. I will be organized forever. This is my best day ever. Oh my goodness, my feet hurt. Oh, what a productive day. I have managed to clean the house today, film a video. I'm about to edit. It is a little late for editing, but it'll be fine. I will stay up the 2 hours if I must. Yeah, cleaning, editing, filming. I organized almost all the bookshelves. The bookshelves that count. I organized these ones, which look great. I organized the classics, which look great, but I'm exhausted. I am going to get these clips added to my computer, and I will see you guys in my next video on Sunday. I've got a fun short little video coming out for you guys. And then this weekend, I'm working on a really fun little project. I'm super excited. I hope that it turns out well. I hope that you have a nice long weekend. I didn't say that in my Sunday video, so I hope you have a nice long weekend if you're in the States. Whew, my goodness grief. I'm so tired. So, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you enjoyed this vlog. I read so much. I do apologize that I did not finish Calling of Light in this video, but unless the last half is so insane and bizarre, assume that it's a 3-star if you don't hear from me, because that's where I think it's going to be. So with that said, that rounds out the reading. I've got fun things that I'm going to be finishing and reading in next week's vlog. I'm working on 2 separate vlogs next week, or I guess starting tomorrow, which will be fun, but also is a lot. It's kind of a lot, but it's okay. I'm excited, and I'm going to read so much. We are finishing May strong. Yes, so that's it for me. I hope they enjoyed. I'm in a really good mood today. I feel great. So I hope that you also feel good. I hope to see you guys in my next video and the next week and so on and so forth. Goodbye.